Yeah, Brazil, one of the upcoming countries for a few years now, of course. Every big final table, you see at least a Brazilian flag, it seems, these days.
It does feel that way, and they do have a reputation culturally for being among the most aggressive players on tour.
Yeah. You back in the day, at least, you never wanted to fold against the Brazilian flag online. I remember that.
You
but
had to
of course
keep them
very,
honest.
very studied.
Smart girl. Where are you from? Estonia?
A little bit of a mystery hand.
Yeah, Cabral has not scanned his hand in, and he's managed to 3-bet it, so the mystery is very pure. Knit now contemplates after having opened with the suited connector.
Oh, not a mystery anymore.
Oh, in fact, it's the genuine article. Karai, needles, 1-1, pocket aces.
Okay, let's see who is
Yeah,
lucky in that.
Mustafa Kani decides to call here the 3-bet out of position, 7-6 suited, very pretty hand. Oh, look at this, Ali.
You've got to be kidding me. An 8-5-4 flop. Knit has found the nuts on a board that when a man opens and then calls our 3-bet, we really don't expect the opponent to be interacting with this well.
Yes. Musta can have a lot of the Broadway combos. Of course, he can have 7-6 suited or a hand like 8s, but of course. Oh, wow. And he's seeing a pot-sized bet of Martin, and I'm very curious now if he's going to play it slowly or if he comes back with the raise right away.
How do you feel about a pot-sized bet in this situation?
I think I would have bet a bit smaller, but Martin just decides to get as much value as he can from a hand like pocket 9s, pocket 10s, pocket jacks right away. 8-7 suited.
Okay, on the turn, I don't play. If you guys don't go and don't subscribe, go YouTube Martin Cabral, go subscribe, like everything. Otherwise, I don't play. It's my time already. I will wait for the guys. Go for. If nobody subscribes, I just finished playing. I'm waiting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and leave the comment there as well. How much is it? No, how much he bet? 0? 0 I like, actually. 0 is the good play. I don't know even how I should play now. I play like slow, probably. Mama, where is the camera when we need
Martin, love him, hate him. You're going to have an opinion on him, that's for sure.
And goes for third pot this time, setting up a potential river jam here, and Musta is loving this.
Is it a peculiar sizing on the turn, or in relation to the remainder of his stack, it's kind of what you would expect despite the full pot on the flop?
No, it certainly makes sense. You don't really want to bet any bigger. The pot is going to be 75,000 if he gets called, so only a little bit more than a half-sized pot bet left.
Like this one.
And I expect Musta.
Like in your hand, did you have any space?
Oh wow, he goes for the min raise. Very interesting.
I mean, the click is awkward here for Cabral with 46-9 back.
32, yeah?
So now Musta is saying he has pocket aces beat. I don't think he would play this way with a hand like...
Okay,
yeah, what can he even have? Ace-king?
Maybe I'll be lucky,
Maybe
and if not, I
ace-king.
will be going out of this miserable table. So either it's a free roll, actually. Complete free roll. Oh, what is this card? It's a money card. Now we can go for Casino Royale.
Cabral making the call, 109.7 in the middle, 30.4 effective what they're playing for, and Knit's going to put it on request. There's the all-in.
Guys, it was a pleasure to play here, but we need to make prize pool bigger.
Cabral doesn't take long to make the call, and whoopsie.
How much he has?
Needs to show, it needs to show.
He has
All
a
in
lot?
and call is a show.
He has more, yeah?
And it was very nice to play with you.
Good luck, guys.
Vino, bye-bye.
Excuse me. It's obviously
It was short but intense.
A little quieter now.
Wow.
All right, flipping back over to Zettelhoff as Tens make another appearance, hoping to perform better than they did moments ago for the Spaniard. A flat call from the small blind versus Friedel's sixes.
Makes a lot of sense, I think, in these positions. It's against an under-the-gun race, so I want to be a bit more careful here from the small blind out of position. And right there with a very nice hand here in the big blind. Very happy to see a flop here.
Certainly that price is right with a suited connector for Clemens Reuter. Three-way affair, and it's a queen-high straight against a set. Brace for impact.
Oof, another action flop here, look at this. Both check very quickly, and
Friedel with the sixes. Still going to try to take this one down.
Yeah,
A cheap follow through.
yeah. Ziggy Friedel is the only one who has all the ace kings here, so he decides to just c-bet this hand. He could maybe potentially bluff this on later streets, depending on the run out. Of course, he doesn't know that his opponents have a set and a straight here already. Zadelhoff continues to play it slowly here with the bottom set, and Clemens Reuter, with the decision, he goes for the raise right away. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think he wants to get some clarity here. This is a very wet board texture in terms of coordination. A couple of hearts lurking. A lot of uncomfortable turn cards can happen. And we've cleared the big hurdle in terms of the pre-flop opener stepping aside. That's the man we're more worried about having the ace-king than the small blind flat. And, of course, Zadelhoff contemplating the 7,100. Concerned, of course, about whether or not this bottom set is good. He knows the story being told by Clemens as they take the turn, no board pair.
Yeah, Clemens is wrapping a very good hand here. I don't think he's gonna raise this every time with a hand like Queen 10 here, where all the ace kings are possible. So Clemens Reuter is kind of saying he has something like he has. So Van Zadelhoff is gonna continue to play the slow, hoping for a board pair here.
Reuter has backed into a flush draw just in case the queen eye straight were no good, but tough again to imagine any ace king in the small, and for that matter, unclear how much king 9 would want to be getting involved.
Right, ace king could flat here pre-flop with these positions, but of course often it's a 3-bet as well. Reuter is probably gonna set this one up for 3 streets here, deciding how much he wants to bet so that he can comfortably shove the river. He takes a bit more time here. $40,000 in his stack, 27K in the middle already. Don't think he's gonna go insanely big, especially with the club coverage as well.
22?
22,000, the declaration, and now things really becoming uncomfortable for Zadelhoff. The good news is, of course, there's only 18-4 left, and I wonder whether or not...
And Van Zadelhoff knows he always has outs against the straight, so yeah, he goes with it. He doesn't love it, but he puts it in.
Yeah, when you get beaten into the pot there, you do have some suspicions about the performance of your set, but not drawing dead against this straight. Reuter, as you can see there, at risk of elimination, needs to keep this environment pair-free.
Yeah, you can see the outs on the top of your screen here. Queen, 10, Jack, or 4.
And instead, it's the 7 of diamonds on the end. So Reuter finding himself a massive pickup there. And not to be results-oriented, Karai, but a small blind flat from those 2 10s. One wonders if we go upstairs.
And we take a look at the jungle here. Daniel Jungleman Cates. Interestingly goes for a 3x open here from the hijack. That's the first one we've seen. All the other players so far have min raised pretty much. He goes for 3k, king 10 of diamonds.
Understandably, the 9's in the cutoff, keeping him company. Oh, and how about top set on a 2-diamond board, a couple of overs and a flush draw for Cates, and he very nonchalantly cedes the betting lead.
Yeah, he decides to check here with a lot of his range, I would assume, and Burton here, of course, with the top set, could maybe decide to trap, but will very often just bet small here. And I'm curious if Cates is gonna check raise right away or play this passively.
Certainly feels like it's an option. 2,800 the sizing from the Russian. Here comes Cates.
I think he does go for the raise here with the stack size. The stack size is important here. He doesn't want to raise here and get jammed on and then have to decide whether to call with his hand or not. With this stack size, he decides, though, that he's not going to get jammed on. He goes with a more conventional line to just call, keep the bluffs in.
Oh, no. On the turn, Cates thinks this is gin. As we can see, it's tonic. Top pair. Connecting with this king, and of course, that's the kind of thing that you could see further grease his wheels toward this 25-5 in the middle.
Yeah, understandable bet here from Kates. Goes for 15k, and now again the decision for Burton. Does he want to continue playing this slow? I would think that's the most common approach. He could jam as well, though. It wouldn't make his hand too obvious. I don't think he can still have some bluffs, some flush draws. He could jam here.
The only two hands that beat him right now are 7-8 and King-King. And how often do we expect the line that Kates has taken here to be associated with those holdings?
It could be, but he's happy with his 9s here for sure. Kates can have pocket 6s, pocket 5s as well, of course. He can still have a hand like pocket aces or a hand like he has the King X.
Do you like a flat, or do you like announcing yourself?
Yeah, difficult one. I think you can actually go either way here. I would expect a call here a bit more often than a jam. Just keep the bluffs in. I think you're gonna get the whole stack against pocket 6s, pocket 5s anyways for sure. Probably against a hand like aces as well. But
Well,
yeah, that's
he
the other
differs on his opinion, but that's the beauty of poker. We don't always all agree on certain spots, and on this occasion, the Russian says, let's play for all of it. And Kates, the covering stack, says, yes, let's. But he's going to need a diamond.
Yeah, the jam is completely reasonable as well. Both options were fine here, and Dan really doesn't like this development.
Note, by the way, that the outs at the top of your screen include cards that are not available based on what we've seen. The Jack of Diamonds, however, is available, and further participation here in this main event is not, for the time being, for Camille Burton. Ouch.
He still didn't look quite happy, although he won that hand.
No, was he ordering something, or what was that? Was he negotiating a massage?
I don't know if he just got here today. Might still be a little bit jet lagged. You
That's a
never know
real
with the
thing.
jungle.
For sure. Teixeira, who has been quite active as a force here at his table from the hijack with that suited Jack 10, decides to open again. Jaimic showing willingness to kind of play a high frequency of hands.
Yeah, we've seen him with a 7-5 suited before. Now with the Queen 5, that's of course very loose. Not afraid to see a flop.
I wonder whether or not he perceives Teixeira to have very wide ranges, and here he is with the top pair after Oberstad joined things from the big. She's looking up at 2 overs and happy to check. Gut shot straight draw on the spade-free board texture, no follow through.
I'd be willing to wager that she didn't have ace king.
Yeah, Jaimic could bet here, could check this back as well. Keep his range a bit wider, decides to go for the bet.
Why? Day 1A.
And this is a tricky situation for Annette.
Level 7 of a day 1A with
She
three starting
does
days
decide
with
to
3
call.
bullets each day.
Teixeira, as we've established earlier, could still have a good hand here and go for the check raise. He doesn't this time. And
No, there's 3 day ones though, right? So if you bust this
Jaimic,
one, you can play the next
88%
one, right?
here to win this one.
There's definitely a difference between today
Oh,
and
and
playing the
look,
last
Ali,
day.
pocket
Seven
sevens get
rolls
there.
right
Could you say
off.
not?
Oberstad is going to be
Somebody's
so
gonna play
under-repped here.
bullets.
Who's going to imagine that this card connected with
If I'm
her
willing to
in
put
this
3
way?
bullets a day and then rebuy into day 2,
Yeah, and
I'm gonna play this
understandably,
day a lot
Jaimic
different than I'm gonna play
reaching
when I
for
can't.
chips again here. And this is a super wet board here. Hearts out there, diamonds out there. So I think Annette could very reasonably consider to raise right away here.
Yeah, there's plenty of moisture to want to dry out if you're a set of 7s.
And it's around a pot-sized bet left. It looks like she went for the small raise, and I like this.
20K. And if you're Jaimic, you have some concerns, but it looks like they're short-lived as he comes with the call quickly. Drawing dead, unbeknownst. Now the backdoor diamonds showing up. Neither player thrilled with the development.
Yeah, but I think Annette is still going to put it in here. It's only 3rd pot left, and she does. And now difficult situation from Chimich.
We know that Queen 5 is not really supposed to be good in this spot, but we also know how capable Annette Oberstad is of potentially sticking her neck on the chopping block here with an incomplete hand. Some sort of combo draw.
Yeah, the front door flush draw didn't get there on hearts. Chimich is kind of hoping that maybe there's some hearts looming.
Does 9-10 of hearts track for you as a hand we beat?
For sure, he's thinking about those. He makes the call, sees the bad news.
And that call is going to cost him his seat.
Especially this deep, you wanna be able to flop a flush draw or flop a straight.
Nicely speculative hands that aren't going to be dominated. Meanwhile,
Jesus.
we gave up Martin Cabral and picked up Martin Zamani, the American, also in turn picking up an ace-king of spades.
Over there?
He makes it 2.5 to skate.
Bad call,
Bea
Huh?
You want?
with
No, she's coming for you.
the crabs.
It's all yours.
You know, I went to Morocco, by the way. I went
Yeah,
to
Martin
Blue
Zamani,
City.
very entertaining
Ah,
player
she's
here
down.
with the ace-king suited as well.
You like
Gets flatted,
Yeah.
and we see another pocket tens
You
here in
want
the big
Tangerine
blind
as
for
well?
check. Who has
This
this?
Tangerine?
Bit more of a real pair,
Tangerine?
not so much one that's forced to set mine, but one that has
Easy to
a considerable amount of value here in this spot. And up he takes us to the third
Oh,
floor.
yeah, I did. How'd you know that?
Yeah, you've been there.
How'd you know I knew?
Check
I've been to Tangier.
says 46,000. That's
the
nearly an
WSOP
all-in, so a declaration of war,
Yeah, I mean, Tangier's
so
not
to
bad.
speak. And of course, Zamani is ready for conflict.
The Blue City's like,
Note that he's just called, so we're not going to be on our backs.
I don't have a. No. I have a 49 or 48. I had to go, I think. Yeah, sorry. No problem. I was just wanted to avoid.
You want to be all in, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here. We're all in, right?
Yeah. It wasn't
Okay,
like
so
to-
Zamani negotiating with check to kind of get the rest of it in there, regardless of what the flop is, and that is a sporting opportunity. They both kind of recognize that chips are going to get toward the middle no matter what.
I moved
Check's
the
never
chips
folding.
forward and set all in also.
Yeah, interesting to see that Check decided to just 3-bet jam his 50 big blinds here. He could have definitely 3-bet small as well.
When you do get called, though, this is what you'd rather be against than
Exactly,
Jack's plus.
yeah.
I made a forward motion.
Can I get a fortune tonight?
No, but then after we agreed upon that and we said all in the dark, and then we put more, we announced all in.
That's probably was going to happen, but they asked me to come.
So see, I wanted to like spare the time of counting the chips because of the all-in.
Yeah, I mean, it is within the player's rights here, Karai, for Zamani to say, hey, okay, you want to get it in. He will be first to act.
Actually, I don't know.
Well, sorry, Check will be first to act. And so, the idea is I'm just putting my 3,800 in there already without seeing the 3 cards. You're calling. Here we go.
Yeah, honestly, this doesn't make much of a difference. Let's be honest. I think they should just be able to put it in here, but there's only around 3K left for each of them. The pot is 100K, so it doesn't make a difference. They will be all in every time anyways.
I mean, certainly you can appreciate the dealer's desire to make sure that
Right,
they're being
for
thorough
sure.
and getting kind of a authorization from a supervisor.
Nothing much.
It shouldn't take long for this one to be ready.
Even if I win this tournament, I always
back
suck
to the
for
big
the
blind,
fucking
the
week.
big blind raise.
That's all pit of despair.
46,000.
I'm deep in the pit of despair.
He
Is it like 2
a
million?
random amount of chips in that after being counted was 51,000.
It was
so
mo-
it
it was-
doesn't qualify as a raise. However, then they verbally agree to be all in and they expose their hands.
Correction, which is fully chipped in, they continue.
Thank you.
Sorry for that. I'll never do that again if I survive.
Call.
Thank you.
It is all in and call. It is all in. And
Appreciate the simplicity with which the floor worked us through that one.
Where is the button from Odin? Where is the Odin from?
So,
Like, this is just like,
Should I do
Bea
this stand-up thing
uninvolved
or-
in this one. That's official.
Or no?
I can't use my phone.
And 2 tens
Can't
looking to
cheat.
hang on
Who do you want to tell about
and
this?
survive.
Yes, they both look very relaxed here. It's a big one, though.
3-2 favorite is Check, and he grows to an even larger one. 4-1 favorite nearly on a 5-6-7 board. No spade to worry about. Just looking to ward off aces and kings. Does so successfully, but now get a look at the fact that Zamani can chop the pot.
I think,
It's a
at
four.
least I have a chance.
The guy is rooting for me.
And And instead, it's a jack, so check will double through
49-8.
Martin Zamani mightily. So Berlatsu with an ace-9 offsuit. Coming with the open. Are you at all surprised to see this min-raise sizing from folks as opposed to the 2,500 at least?
Not really. I mean, especially for Bulatsu, he only has 15 big blinds. It makes sense to come in for the min-raise here.
But in general, we've seen a lot of this from a wide array of stack depths.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Like a couple of years ago, people would go a little bit bigger for sure. I think it has become a little bit of a trend to just go for the min-raise very often.
The sixes going for a set here as Jack flat call and the two Romanians intertwine once more.
Couple thousand pre-flop decisions.
King-9 deuce out flopping is the ace-9 here with middle pair.
Very humble suggestion.
Yeah, he could bet small here. He could also decide to check this hand. Can go either way, as so often, of course. Is thinking about this. Is thinking about his whole range as well. What does he want to do with a hand like ace-queen?
I can't even message my homies. That's how pitted with fair I am right now.
Decides to check, and
Blibert
Blibert can decide to play a similar strategy that he did earlier with the pocket eights, where he bet for protection.
Ooh. Now he no longer is looking for any protection. Instead, he's looking for a customer as he finds a set on the turn. Boy, that looks like a dry card, doesn't it?
It does, and Bulatsu, after it goes check, does like his hand here. He probably would have heard from a king very often on the flop.
Yeah, you can't fault him for reaching out and touching some of his tokens. 4,400 of them to be exact in that 2/3 pot territory.
Yeah, he does set up a potential river gem here with a 2/3 pot bet. And Blibert, of course, loving this development.
I mean, you're just happy to flat and let your man sail off on the end.
Exactly. No flush draw out there. Just call and hopefully get another bet on the river.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Let's see what the deck yields on the end here. 7, of course, does fill in some straights. I don't feel as though there's a whole lot of that 10-8, 5-8 afoot in this particular exchange as played. And if Berlatsu wants, he could certainly fire this one again. Precious are the final chips, though.
They are, and yeah, it is dicey. Blibert could check back a hand like King 10 suited here as well. He could have a hand like he has the pocket sixes, it turns out. He does go for the thin gem, though.
Yeah, he did leave himself a single chip behind, if I'm not mistaken. But
he's gonna get the bad news pretty soon.
Yeah. And once you hear your man say all in, you absolutely hate the notion that ace-9 is a winner.
Yeah. He does put it in just in case his opponent has maybe the same hand. Or
yeah. I mean, what are we hoping to do with a single chip? And again, it's important to recognize that in this stage of this day 1A, it's still very early and there's still a lot of reinforcements available. Most aren't showing up here with a flat 5,300 in their pocket and nothing
out in this case. So yeah, it's a bit unlucky, but he only had 10K left.
Very good friend.
Now it looks like a member of the Lithuanian delegation has chosen the ace-10 of clubs to take into battle here, understandably from early position. Check with pocket sevens.
Yeah, that sounds like a calling candidate here. The pocket sevens in position. Nice situation.
Probably not. Probably not, yeah.
Zamani with the baby-suited ace. I often refer to this particular combo as solver bait, in particular when you have raise and flat in front of you. Kind of the squeezability. We know that the computers like this stuff. I don't know whether or not they like it with 18-7 back for all the marbles, though.
Yeah, he goes for it. It's a bit loose with these positions. Zamani never afraid to put it in here, though, like in general.
counted it out pretty professional-like over there. Maybe you're live.
Yeah,
bro.
he gets the ace-10 suited to fold.
You
I
had
don't think
that.
the 7s will go anywhere, though.
Yeah, I should have folded
Sure
that.
enough,
The
Czech
shaman.
says, let's spin.
Doing shaman things.
I don't have a
You know, Shaman is the nickname that I gave Steve O'Dwyer
big time.
over on the Triton Super High Roller Series. And you know, Mustafa appropriating the nickname for Zamani. I get it,
I feel pretty good about
but I
this
don't think
I
he's
don't-
the
I feel
official
good too.
Shaman.
I would
It's not
bet
the
the money
original
on
one.
that.
It's
No,
not.
the O'Dwyer
much
has
was
the
that?
Shaman market
Fair.
corner.
$200.
Meanwhile, let's see if Zamani can corner an ace here, and he can, right in the window. Leaps in front of the 7s.
I feel bad. If it's a diamond,
Diamond's
though, I'll bet
working.
on his hand at even money. Okay.
No diamond on the
Those
turn,
do
and
get
it's
their
just a
20
two-outer to be faded for the American.
If there was a diamond that came out, it probably is even money.
See? I would have been right. Good market back.
To 6 and 12, and everybody seemed like they were out and about, much like Joe Chuen, who's woken up to find a couple of aces. I think that's worth interrupting your nap.
So you went to a lot of parties to be able to smoke.
Yeah, and Vansadolov with another 3-bet candidate here with the 8-7 suited.
I'm hoping that the raise is to 2,400 here. That would be the minimum.
Oh yeah, the blinds went up.
Yeah. That's 2,700 officially.
Okay.
Zadelhoff from the cutoff has the stack deep enough to do speculating.
Yeah, nice looking hand. He could have 3-bet, as I said. He can just call in position as well. And Tokic with the 8-7 offsuit version. Getting a good price from the big blind is in there as well. And both 8-7s flop an open-ender though. It's the open-ender to the bad side of the straight though. A jack makes every queen straight as well. Zhu decides to check it over. King 10-9. A bit of a dangerous looking flop here. Wants to play a bit of a smaller pot.
And while officially those 7-8s are open-enders, on a board texture such as this, the inconvenience is when you make it with a jack, given that any queen X is going to make that bigger straight. Things that are on our mind if we're Zadelhoff, but so too is winning the 10-5. 10,000, let's call it, in the middle as he fires at 2,600. And Tokic raising to 8,200, and boy, that makes it weird on our aces, which we just bin. Wow.
Yeah, dicey raise here from Tokic. He of course has some equity with the open ender, but doesn't block any of the good hands. But it works out pretty well here against the aces.
You know, I'd like to put in a request to production to just park our bones here for a little bit if this is the sort of thing that's going down at this table.
Right.
Wow. Consider just how effective that raise is. You see Tokic wearing the big smile. Did he show the 7-8?
He did show, yeah.
Both cards or just one?
Unbelievable.
Because you remember it was Zadelhoff that gave him a peek at just one, so perhaps returning that favor.
Maybe.
But boy, that was gangster. You are, so let's
Yeah,
get him
for
dealt
sure.
out there. Ace deuce of diamonds, and let's get a little more into the middle, says the Lithuanian. Tapinas.
How much are you playing?
40.
Oh, and the Dutchman with tens. Hand of the day, I must say. Was that not right? What do we?
Is that the right sizing there, Ali? What's going on?
11-2. I mean, misclicks are a real thing, even in the live streets, but I'm hard-pressed to think a Lithuanian would open to this size. It would seem kind of like a reckless and needless choice, but let us give benefit of the doubt, I suppose. I didn't clock the visual, Karai, to sync the chips up with
Yeah,
the size.
we
but
couldn't see that we had the crazy table with Martin Zamani as well, so I don't know if that plays a role here.
Right, expect the unexpected in this zip code, and I don't know whether or not you expected the jam from Zamani, but off of 54, he says, let's go. And, of course, the opener with ease steps aside, and we're off to the races. Zamani
Good luck.
at risk of elimination once more.
Another
This is
coin
all
flip
really
here.
his fault.
I mean, they're nearly dead even in chips. Just 500
That
separate
would've been all in though, don't
the
worry.
two of them. So certainly that at risk of elimination could be applied to both players. It's just that it would be a two-part puzzle for the Dutchman.
And what was it before? Ace King
So
against tens
Vakumara.
as well, right? He was facing tens
Yes,
before, I think.
yes, that's right. And he managed to bink the ace. Binky's going to be needed one more time here for Martin Zamani.
Because of the size betting.
He doesn't look nervous to me.
He does not. Does he look optimistic though?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
He looks slightly nervous, but I think, you know. Okay, now I think
Good luck.
now I think our optimism is all done for. No jack, no king on the turn, no straight jaw, no shot at victory as it gets iced by the set of tens. Granted, it's a state, not a country, but, you know, nevertheless. Tokic, who pulled off that nasty little 7-8 move, gets Nogami 7-8 into the bin with this 2400 open.
Yeah, loose open, but probably understandable. Probably the weakest hand he opens under the gun. Queen Jack offsuit. And Reuter with a suited connector in the small blinds against the min raise.
You know, these cuspy ones, Karai, for me, I think likely for Tokic are centering around what's the mood out there, what's the climate, how aggressive are the players on my left, does anybody seem like they're being too sticky, who's
For
in the
sure.
blinds, you know, more variables than simply I'm under the gun with Queen Jack off or factoring into this choice.
Yeah, 100% agree. For sure. If the blinds are maybe weaker players, you're in there for sure. If nobody behind you is 3-betting you in there, if people behind you are crazy, you might fold.
Yep. Both blinds along for the ride. To the flop we go, 8,400 in the middle. And the 6 eyeballs. Feast on Queen 3 Deuce. Top pair for the pre-flop opener, but note Reuter here has himself a sneaky open-ender with backdoor clubs.
He does. He was briefly thinking, does it make sense to have a leading range? He decides against the lead. Friedler's gonna check, and Tokic is probably gonna value bet his queen here. With a strong under the gun range. Goes for 25% pot. And now Reuter can call, can raise. It's one of those again. Yeah, he decides to raise. I think that makes a lot of sense. He has the clubs as well going for him. He could make kind of a wider value raise here as well with a hand like King Queen himself. So it makes of course sense to have some bluffs as well. And yeah, great candidate for it. Tokic though with top pair, Jack kicker, isn't going anywhere, I don't think.
He's going to think about it. We haven't really mentioned those red tiles that players have all been issued. These are time extensions. In situations where we need to take a little bit more than the allotted number of seconds, we can deploy one of those, and doing so to find himself the call is Tokic. So Reuter's efforts falling short of carving through the entire field. He's definitely not done telling a story here, and this one's a little pricier than the one before it.
Yeah, it looks like half pot, I think.
Yeah, more ink on the page.
7.
It's a bit bigger than that even, like
You were completely right.
70% pot. He's saying he has like King Jack plus here probably at least. He can have pocket 3s, pocket 2s, of course. King Queen makes a lot of sense.
Do we like having the Queen of Diamonds in hand in this spot if we're Tokic?
We definitely don't like having the jack now. The jack now, because that could be a potential bluff card. Oh, that's interesting to me. He took his time on the flop with his call, and here on the turn with a tougher decision, calls super quickly.
Oh, and he finds himself 2 pair, queens and jacks. Now the diamonds have failed to get there, and as I pointed out, Tokic does have a diamond, but it's critically that queen of diamonds.
Yeah, I think the queen of diamonds doesn't make as much of a difference than a non-pairing diamond would have made here. Reuter here with a literal worst hand. He can have 5 high. He doesn't have any diamonds, so
he's chosen a jam. I'm sure there are people at home going, "Call, you idiot! Don't be a nit roller." But this is actually a really tough spot. Yeah, this is not posturing. This is not Hollywooding. This is a man genuinely put in the blender.
Yeah, he's counting the combos here. Maybe 5-4, of course, makes sense. Maybe a hand like ace-4.
Wow!
And it works.
And I got to tell you something. Since the first day that I laid eyes on Clemens Reuter on the high roller circuits till today, I have watched him evolve, grow more and more confident, and more.
I didn't really use.
I'll give you. Meanwhile, give you another look here at kind of in company. 10s for Jungle Man.
Nice.
Upstairs, he takes us to 3,000. A flat caller out of the small blind with the suited ace, but flatting is not what's on Sevilla's mind. The Mexican says, "Ole, 11,000. Cates is ready to go for the extra 8.
That's a great fast call. People should do it more often.
Out.
Yes, snap call here from Jungle Man with the 10s. It makes sense with his hand, of
like
course, but it was
2009.
fun to see.
If it was 2009, it would be
texture.
quick 4-bet.
Right, like 2009.
For Jungle.
These days.
Wasn't the popular on those days?
Yes, Sevilla decides he probably wants to bet small with the range here.
Yeah, I like this sizing choice here. Just 6K, as you point out, his full range can kind of lean into this sizing. Of course, Kate's not going anywhere as we swiftly take the turn, which doesn't help the ace-king. Kate's picking up the gutter.
Yeah, and the ace-king really doesn't like this situation. He grabs chips, though.
I run into him sometimes.
Not afraid.
Online, I mean, it seems like he plays much tighter these days. Yeah.
Super tight.
Maybe he'll learn.
He has the king of clubs there going for him.
From the wild time.
Interesting. Is he going to go for 3 streets? Here's the question. And there's the 3rd club.
Of course, critically, it is a 9, which gives Kate's the straight. He now beats the trip jacks that he may have been concerned about.
These cards, I'm used to 4 color
Sevilla knows that things are growing a little ambitious in terms of his line, having credibility on the end. What would we 3-bet out of the big blind with that would barrel all of these streets? Oh my goodness.
I did not expect to bet.
Yeah, but it took me a while.
I mean, the overpairs aren't supposed to do this because clubs arrive at 4-liners out there.
No.
I mean, this is kind of saying I've got a boat.
Yeah, he's saying he has a flush, or at least a straight. So Jungle Man has snap card 3, but he has the snap card here on the river after hitting straight.
I don't think it's fold. It's 30,000, right? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So there's like 25 or something in the middle before, and there's 37-ish, and then.
Look at Sevilla trying not to give anything away, but that chest heaving, and now he can exhale, but unfortunately, that exhalation is going to come with the delivery of his entire stack as Jungle takes off the effort there with the ace-king.
Her hand on the flop on the turn, she decided to play it passively slowly, and that was the right choice in that spot.
Well, nothing passive or slow for Kim here as he's found 1-1 under the gun, no less. 3K open.
Anybody? Great movie. I didn't see the second one though. That's probably
Staccalis. Not interested in ace-10 off.
2 years ago? I didn't know. Yeah, with like Denzel Washington is like.
Yeah, from these positions you probably have to let it go. Staccalis, yeah, good online player as well.
So many of the players that show up that might be less familiar to some are certainly more familiar to those who ply their trade mouse in hand.
Let me show the cameras one more time.
Online
This is what you're gonna see,
phenoms
that's
working
it.
their way into the live arena.
I check to the better.
7-4 for Palma. Has linked up with bottom pair and a gutter. And look at Palma getting a check back out of Kim.
Yeah, that makes some sense. You don't want to bet every time here on a flop like that, where the big blind can have a straight or two pair easily. And aces, of course, is always one of the first candidates that you want to check back. Because you're not worried about any overcards coming in compared to, say, pocket jacks or queens.
One of the ways in which I've heard the approach of checking something like that back on the flop is not so much what does my actual hand want to do, but what does my range want to do versus my opponent's range in particular. And when you begin to unpack it through that lens, those checkbacks start to feel a lot more sage. No check back on the turn, though. 3,500. And what's this now? Palma.
Yeah, very nice. Goes for the check raise here. Uses his straight and set blockers here. Can improve. Maybe sometimes he has the best hand, but he's happy to take it down here, of course. But yeah, big raise here as well, from 3 to 21k, and immediately a difficult situation for the pocket aces of Kim.
Well, the nightmare, of course, would be if we were drawing dead. It would require Palma to have the straight. Anything else, and we're not cooked. So with that knowledge, let's not suddenly panic. 51.5 in the middle. He does use the time bank, but I don't think it's to come with a check.
No, I think he's going to go for value. He doesn't want to bet huge now, though. It's a bit of an interesting situation now. Of course, with a 5, he would have had a straight and could just would be even more confident. And now he mostly has the best hand, but not always.
The bluffs would be diamonds. Some diamond combos, maybe with a pair.
Yeah, probably. Maybe instead of 7-4 of clubs, maybe something like 10-4 of diamonds.
Put yourself into Kim's shoes.
Could it be naked diamonds? He's thinking maybe just 10-9 of no 10-9 is a straight as well, but Jack-9 of diamonds, something like that. He is really trying to find the bluffs, but he makes a fold, and I think it's a good fold.
Yeah.
Even like a mixed sex crew, like just going fucking shit face at some festival.
Mizet is probably not putting his
something about it
190k into the middle without the big blind being short, and that's the case. This is a 13 big blind situation. And correct call here with the King 8 of hearts. You have to call from the big blind there, and seeing the good news, Mizet is dominated here.
What a
risk.
professional way to organize our hand.
Is calms, but of course, calm, cool, collected for the time being.
Not bad.
Better than a 3-2 favorite, and finds himself an 8 for good measure now, as only something ugly involving that duckling could prove catastrophic.
Oh, no.
And there is a little pinch of ugly on the turn, as he could have left Mizet drawing dead. Instead, a 5 would be disaster. Close.
Mizet can afford it. Still 170k left.
Yeah, flush wound. Posts a lot of videos of himself on what look like some pretty nice sunset cruises.
A lot of traveling as well. I've seen him all over on
Yeah.
Instagram as well, yeah.
He lives the good life. Joie de vivre for Yo Viral. Meanwhile, the good hand pre turns into the inferior diamond draw post, and unfortunately, after a round of knuckles for Kobos, that fourth diamond has put him into the second nuts dilemma. Granted, 3-5 of diamonds would be the first nuts, but for all intents and purposes, it is the ace of diamonds that we are most concerned about, and it is precisely that is bet 4,000.
Yeah, it's interesting that the big blind bets out here for Kobos, who was the original raiser. He's probably thinking most of the time he should have the best hand here with the king of diamonds.
Sure. So he's not looking to inflate things. He flats. Ashley Frank out of the way. Heads up to the river. Almost 20 in the pot. This is going to be a chance at pulling in some chips here for Kim. 5th diamond on the board.
And what makes this interesting is that the preflop raiser would be the one that would have the most aces of diamonds here in his range. So Kim betting out here, despite that fact, looks kind of strong.
5 seconds. C4 bets 21,000.
But can you get away from the second flush draw? I mean, 5 of diamonds is out there as well. Let's not forget about that. But I mean, he doesn't like it. Would a jack of diamonds do that? I don't think so.
That's the big dilemma, right? If I can't identify the hand that would be doing it, really is a nonsensical kind of line unless you have a diamond. And the diamond that you would need would specifically be either ace or 3-5. And Kobos announces all in Korai.
I mean, it was only 6,000 more. I still think because of that, what we just said, that it's probably a bluff catcher.
Early throws. As we pick one up in progress. Top set for Fuchs.
Casual 5-way flop here.
Pair of 8s for Neholm. 7s for Schwecht. Tobias, another one of those guys who's punched his ticket on the super high roller circuits.
Yeah, and Fuchs is really hoping that somebody is going to stab at it after opening it up pre and then checking. And
guess who?
Morbi with a flush draw is the one biting. Avlas Dimov should get away from this, and then Nyholm does have middle pair, but well, it was a 5-way affair.
And how are we going to approach it now as Fuchs declined to follow through, got kind of what he wanted in terms of at least one bet from somebody. Certainly I think he would have preferred for multiple players to be caught in some crossfire, but 50 left to play for.
Honestly, in a 5-way pot, when your opponent bets half pot, it looks kind of strong. I would have raised right away as well, I think, with the... oh, he just called. I thought he raised. It, of course, makes sense to trap with the top set, but I think he could definitely have considered a raise here.
By the way, that top set is still the nuts on this turn card. No, never mind. 10 jack. Glossed it over.
All in.
Morbi with that spade draw announces all in. Here comes that river. Spade you very much.
Definitely 2,
Yeah.
maybe 3. Probably just.
No, I'm sure they'll have to end it. They're not going to interfere with day 2 of the main, I don't think.
No,
Queen
yeah.
for Kim. Among the more active stacks.
That would be sexist. No, seriously, I'm not kidding.
Ace,
Like,
ace for Stakalis.
Well, not WSOP.
Wait,
but in
Kim,
general,
you know, I know he found the double,
ladies
but like,
always get the short end of the stick when it comes to
he's really
like,
been on the wrong end
like,
of a lot
I
of
get it.
pots.
That's
because
true.
it's just
Yep.
there's not that many. Or
yeah,
less.
like I always am compromised of making a day 2 of a ladies versus like jumping in a bigger tournament.
And
No,
after
I know that. I
Stakalis
know
is
what
going to
it is.
3-bet
I
this.
understand.
Oh, we see Jimenez with
it's
jacks on the
always
button. I
one
was
day
going to say
events,
Kim with the
like
decision
Yeah,
4-bet or
which
not,
also
but
sucks.
well,
sometimes.
Jimenez
But we
might do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Note that
crazy
Stakalis is
I know her name, the
got
Asian girl that
112
she won
back,
just
so
two
Jimenez
times
needs
or
to
whatever.
tread somewhat lightly.
Sheena, yeah. She's a nice girl too. She's, I mean, I don't know her that much, but she seems nice.
Or not. 3 bets becoming 4. Is flatting the jacks there ever an idea?
I was just actually thinking about that. There's not a lot of spots where that's possible. This could be one of them maybe, but I don't really fault him for 4-betting. These are the 3 latest positions they are.
Now, it's again that moment of instant, wait, why did I do that with the jacks?
And this 5-bet is very, very small. Only 14k for Jimenez to call. But
it's begging to keep him in there.
Exactly. Stakalis is putting in a third of Jimenez's stack. He's in position, though. He's getting that good of a price. He's thinking his opponent might have the ace-king. He doesn't want to fold for 14k more.
Queen for deuce. One overcard for Jimenez to be concerned about. Though, as played pre, what would be the queen X's that would be associated with Stakelis, if any?
Yeah, the question is, does he pick this size with a hand like ace-queen to try and bluff?
Feels improbable.
Probably not super often.
Impossible. Does the king-queen ever become an idea here due to its blocker attributes?
It could be. It could be. It's definitely not for every player, not always.
To bite down on the Argentinian stack. Now, having picked up the wheel gutty and holding what seems to be a lot of hand, we block the ace tray. We don't think 6-3 is involved. For that matter, who knows how much baby sets are still going to be lurking.
No.
So then, this is really designed to what, induce?
I guess so. I mean, pocket queens would be possible, of course, but that's just one hand. Oh, that's interesting that Jimenez bets now, and I'm curious if Stakelis is gonna jam it in here. He was probably thinking with the SPR, the pot size compared to what's behind is small enough that he doesn't have to bet always now with the aces. So it's a little bit of a trap.
I mean, the 18K maybe is also just designed to get himself to a free showdown.
Exactly. So it's good recognition from Stakelis to put it in here.
Yeah,
to avoid that scenario.
Yeah, it's such a nasty thing to be on the receiving end of for Jimenez too. You feel played instantly. But also you feel like whatever is across the way now is screaming legitimate.
For sure. I mean, he's still thinking, could this be ace-king maybe? With the additional 3, but
no flush draw coming to fruition on the turn. It's all rainbow. Like
we also said, is he gonna do that pre-flop? We're not sure. Maybe. Is he gonna play like that on the flop? Maybe. His online sessions and just shares a lot about his thoughts. Very interesting.
You got to respect those who are willing to be vulnerable enough to put themselves out there, because as we know, the internet can be a minefield, and Abby introduced us to that, so
I was thinking,
absolutely respect to all those
Are my eyes
do create that content and endure some of that treachery that lurks, but a lot of love out there as well, should be said. Meanwhile, let's see how much romance Morby has on his mind here on the puck with the 10s. Looks like he's just going to keep it at 4K. Flat calling. Note the Vlastimov.
Somebody
flat with the king 8 of hearts versus that under the gun opening range of Schwecht. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Yeah, seems a bit wide in these positions for sure.
I'm all in.
Oh wow.
Hang on. Yo, viral.
I get a contest.
He sees all the dead money in there, so I kind of like the jam here.
Dude, the money's not always dead. Karai, the money could have a real serious pulse on it. And, of course, we zero in on the 10s and the ace-queen. First decision belongs to Schwecht. He's got a lot of players behind him.
That's true, but I think the overcallers more often than not don't have a good hand. I'm speaking about the button and the small blind, although in this case Moby on the button does have pocket tens.
Yeah. How wide is he going to be willing to do this? And I think if you're familiar with his appetite for risk, I think this is an ace-queen that doesn't always make this call, but in this spot, you know, recognition of that temptation that Gilbert is falling victim to, and also kind of an aggressive player in the right spots. And he comes over to Morby, and we've got a jam and a call, and we've got some real concerns about how our 10s are doing. So into the bin goes the best hand, and that will allow Schwecht to dominate Yo Viral. And this could be a beer level that Yo Viral doesn't get all the way through. He's looking at Tobias, so you think he's going, really, buddy, with the ace-queen off?
Oh, he's taking his own sip of his beer. Did you see that?
Top two versus a pair and a diamond draw as the boys are swigging their way through this pot. 100,000, which needs to go Yo Viral's way. Picks up a Broadway gutter on the turn. A wealth of outs, a lot of them grayed out at the top of your screen.
GG.
And the jack on the end,
Good luck,
not
guys.
enough.
Good
Queens
luck.
and jacks
Good luck.
versus aces and queens, and the GG's exchange. Well, is this a little mystery that we have upon us with Jimenez's cards intentionally blocked out behind the question marks, allowing us to speculate, and this is where you have your time to shine. Pocket jacks here for Nick Palma in the big blind. His response, a flat.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so we can play this hand out of Nick Palmer's shoes here. I would say he could definitely 3-bet here as well from the big blind against the hijack. He calls, and look at this.
Yeah, Jacob 3 times over. Middle set for the American here. Slips it to Jimenez. Reaches out and touches a C-bet. Into the 11 comes 3,500.
Yeah, so far everything standard. We cannot really say much about Jimenez. It's just the hijack opening range. A lot of ace-x kind of hands. He can have a king. He can have everything pretty much. And with middle set here, Nicky Palmer, and some hearts out there as well. I like this race. It's just, I mean, sometimes you want to trap, but in general, if you have a good hand, just get money into the pot.
Have we gone to floor 3? Yes, we have.
Oh, wow.
3 bets to 25,000 from Jimenez.
And now the question for Palmer is, what does this 3-bet mean? Is he gonna do this with a hand like Ace King? Is this a flush draw? I mean, pocket jacks are so good. It doesn't really matter that much. I
Two
wanna say.
kings are the nightmare, of course. Unclear whether or not Jimenez would approach it this way, but the board is damp enough that both players with a set would be looking to pile chips in now rather than complicate things on a later street more often than not, especially with the window opened by Palma check raising on the flop.
Yeah, fair, but I mean, pocket jack still so good,
Sure.
and a hand like top set traditionally often trapping here as well. So I don't think he's gonna.
That's a
but every
wet
time.
turn there. The Queen of Hearts. I mean, Ace 10 of Hearts is not out of range for Jimenez, is it?
No, it's not, and Jimenez checks it back now.
Well, it's a comforting check back, I would think, for Palma, unless Jimenez is looking to trap. He is the shorter of the two stacks, sub 1 SPR now, ever so slightly.
For sure, yeah, that's interesting.
Completely irrelevant river, of course.
Yeah, and Palmer tries to put his opponent on a couple of hands here now. He's trying to figure out what the range looks like. He decides to check again. Thinks that there are not so many value hands that he can extract from.
Here still, I mean, I think never want to risk losing your man on the turn with a royal, and suddenly, of course,
It's definitely
polarize.
possible. It's definitely in there. So yeah, for the value side, it's these nut flushes, royal flushes. I want to say, what are the bluffs is the question.
Yeah, because that's what Palma's basically doing, is bluff catching with a set of jacks against this line, right? I don't see a lot of like cuspy value out of Jimenez. Is he doing this with a set of kings? Maybe.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out, is he doing it with hands that he has beat, like pocket threes.
Sick. I might have.
It really is.
Does
Wow, he bins it. What was it, Jimenez? Oh, my goodness. That is stone cold. Ace 5 of clubs, Garai.
What a hand there by Jimenez. Wow.